Pants Weasel. Do you ever feel, not so fresh?
Sure, that's why I watch Doofy do, but only once every 3 weeks.
Wow, episode 120 already. Hello, 63. Hello, fellow wanderers. It is me, trying to get past a Renadillo. I think I just knocked it back a couple times. I told you it wouldn't be a whole month. It was, what has it been, like 28, 29 days? But not a month. Doofy-doo, a man who always keeps his promises. I'm back, finally. It wasn't only the fantastic weather that kept me away this time, although that was definitely a big part of it. It was like 70 degrees in February and March. Now it's gotten cold again. I don't understand this climate change. Monster tank. I think I have, I have a crescent arm meld. Yep, I totally remembered that. Whoa, Halfmaster went down fast too. Faster than your dad at the discotheque. Your father enjoys the company of men. It's time he knew the truth. Now the weather's been great. In the 70s, because pretty soon here in DC it gets horribly, horribly humid and hot, and I just don't feel like going out. So I'll probably, whoa. Alright, so it looks like a skull demon tried to put me to sleep. I didn't even see it sneak up on me. I want to try and take it out so it's not just wandering around the dungeon for me to stumble into later on. Alright, let's see if I was right. Yep, that's what I thought. Skull demon. They cause a lot of deaths, but I do have a revival herb, so I think I'll be just fine. Part of it, other than the nice weather, was also the fact that I'm on floor 64. I'm pretty much 2/3 of the way through the dungeon almost. It's kind of like, it's related to what I said about me finding the middle of the game being more satisfying. This run is going so well, and I've beaten this dungeon before, so I know that I'm probably going to win this run, and I'm almost kind of playing on autopilot now. There's a little bit of thought that goes into purse rummaging, like I'm thinking about what kind of armbands I want to keep. I'm kind of thinking now about what kind of armbands I want to have later on for the other bonus dungeon. So I'm already kind of assuming in my head that I'm going to win this run, which is a dangerous assumption. Really, the only strategic decision left to make in this run is when I'm going to break open my strengthening jar. At some point, I'm going to get scared enough by some enemy encounter where I'm going to be like, alright, I got to break it open. I'm going to meld that weapon and shield, and I'm going to be unstoppable. So, the game is not super exciting to me as far as possibilities go right now. I mean, sure, I could hit a really crazy monster house and things could get really interesting. But for the most part, this isn't my favorite part of Fate's Final Puzzle right now. We kind of already passed through it. And this run has been so good to me that, I don't really have to think much. Wow. Minotaur's Axe 2. This run has it all. Nothing can stop me. Might as well check that out. I have an unequipped trap up there, so I can check to see if this is cursed. But that would be good to meld, although, as I said before, sometimes a Minotaur's Axe can make you detonate spiky bombs, especially high-powered spiky bombs, if you do an unexpected critical attack. So, it's a risk worth taking, I think. Check in on my precious. Everything is baking nicely. So what is the solution? The solution is, I could play more recklessly, like when I read that monster scroll on the floor with Lelix, but that scared me too. It's like a catch-22. In order to make the run more interesting, I have to risk dying and then having to make like 30 or 40 more episodes? No way. So I'm going to stick to playing this boring grandma style. Alright, let's see. Nope, it's a +1. That's good. And just as a warning, I'm probably going to win this run. I mean, it would be really weird if I did not win this Space Final Puzzle run. Because pretty soon here, I'm going to be incredibly overpowered. That's assuming, like, I could run into like a jet fowl in a corridor and it could destroy my strengthening jar. Or, there are wacky things that could happen, but chances are that this run is going to go pretty well. I'm happy with this run. It's pretty much my typical winning phase final puzzle run so far. It doesn't have a recovery armband or an armband of sight, so those are not typical, but they do help you win a run quite a bit. Maybe I'll find those later, but again, I'm through really the dangerous part of the dungeon. At this point, it's just sort of playing it safe and waiting to, whoa, another Herba victory too. Yeah, this run, pretty generous. Let's see. I actually have to go bid on an auction in a few minutes, so coming up here in 3 or 4 minutes, I'm gonna have to end this episode, but I wouldn't do that to you after being away for almost a month. I'm going to immediately record another episode after the auction, and then through the magic of the internet, it will seem maybe it doesn't matter. I was thinking maybe I should have saved that giant rice ball for later, but once you have a hide shield meld on your shield with slow hunger, really you don't have to worry about food. You're gonna find enough rice balls to make it through, unless you're just doing like constant stair runs for like 30 or 40 floors. So the times that I've starved to death are earlier on in phase final puzzle when I didn't have a hide shield meld. Sometimes I would make it through like 10 or 12 floors without finding a rice ball, and that's why I'm really paranoid at the beginning. But right now, no problem. I'm just gonna eat rice balls when I find them, pretty much. What was I talking about? Oh, auctions. So I got an auction, a Yahoo Japan auction ending pretty soon. Fluffy Bunny, I will kill you first. You'll be the first to die, Fluffy Bunny. Whoa. Alright, I'm gonna be careful here. I'm gonna get too low. Alright, looks good. The dollar is really strong against the yen right now. So this is a great time to pick up some Japanese memorabilia if you're interested in that type of thing. I got Japan Yahoo auctions do it the right way for them as a company. The wrong way for me as a bidder. But if anyone bids on an auction within the last 5 minutes, they add an additional 5 minutes to the auction. So I've gotten trapped in some horrible bidding wars for stuff. And it just keeps going until one person gives up. Oh, there was an auction just a little while ago for a, alright. My HP is a little low for that powered up snaky. And I feel your P is not really going to do it for me. I guess I could confuse it. Might as well get rid of this to herb. Alright. I could shoot arrows diagonally, but I think I'm just going to play it safe and do it simple. Alright. I'm a little concerned right now that a Death Master is going to show up, but out in the open, I think it'll be alright. He's missing left and right. Alright. Things look safe again. A lot of Shiren the Wanderer is knowing when a critical turn is approaching. You know, not just like waiting until you're actually in the critical turn and it's too late. As you play roguelikes, you'll start recognizing critical turns 3 or 4 turns before they happen. Just like potential critical turns. So it may seem as though, when I'm playing this, that, no more charges. That I'm not really thinking much about what's going on, but just out of instinct, I'm trying to avoid potentially dangerous situations. Like on a floor with Death Masters especially, you have to be really cognizant of how much HP you have. Because 2 Death Masters in the wall, just think, can I survive that? Maybe I should hang around and heal a little bit. I'm being a little more careless because of the revival herb, but I'm still being fairly careful. A lot of Shiren the Wanderer is this kind of alternating between autopilot and not really thinking because it's not a critical turn, and then gradually like being a little bit more alert because you think like, oh, there's a potential situation here that might develop, and then full-on concentration and slowing things down during a critical turn. It's very similar to air traffic control in that way. A lot of like 90% of air traffic control a brainless monkey could do, or a robot, or a computer program. It's just cleared for takeoff, cleared to land, and turn right at Alpha 2, tax the parking. I mean, anyone can say those things over and over and over. But that 10% of the time when something goes wrong, or things get complicated, or there's a situation you don't recognize from previous situations and you have to kind of improvise. That's when you gotta kind of slow down and think about what you're doing. That's when you earn your moolah. So, Shiren the Wanderer and all roguelikes are kind of like that too. It's just those few critical turns that determine whether you survive or die. And the difference between a person with experience and a newbie is that they avoid situations that might lead to a critical turn. So I might be making this game look kind of brain dead at this point, and it is, sort of. I'm just kind of shooting arrows down corridors, checking for traps, making sure I take out everyone early, get all the loot. But trust me, it took me a long time to get to the point where Face Funnel Puzzle was automatic like this. I shouldn't really brag either, because I could certainly check for a trap and then immediately step on it, like a summons or a rice ball trap. Alright, let me knock back this Randall. Uh-oh! It's almost time for me to bid on my auction. I'm gonna go ahead and save on lucky floor number 66, but I will immediately come back and record another episode, so that should be uploaded immediately after this one. Alright, I gotta go check my bank account. Wish me luck in my international bidding war for children's action figures. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. How far? How long will I survive? The sword at my side, I don't believe it's bad, but this run, it's now or never. I've got my precious jar in my backpack. It's got a sword and shield and powerful staffs. But if I throw it, I won't get it back. I guess I'll break it on another floor.
You will be the first to die, Fluffer Bunny.